Redditors who grew up poor. Besides practical money saving measures, what were the unwritten social expectations of your world growing up? You never brought the field trip permission slips home because you knew better than to make your mom feel guilty she couldn't pay the $5.20 fee to let you go. I did this, too. Staying behind in the library while everyone else went, honestly was perfectly fine with me. Hide money or it will be borrowed. Also, don't get attached to anything because if it's any good it'll be sold in a yard sale, and if it has any value it will be pawned. I got the same CD player for 3 Christmases and birthdays in a row. Out of pawn for birthday, pawned again a month later, out of pawn for Christmas, pawned again by March, etc. I am the second of 8 kids of high school dropout parents. It doesn't matter if you don't like the food, clothes, shoes, toys etc. Take it, say thank you and be appreciative. You can do anything you want, as long as it's free, you will survive. If someone needs it more, let it go. Never tell anyone you are hungry or need something. It makes you seem weak and needy. The second you become working age, 10 plus, you will help with bills. You have no choice. Your money is everyone's money, which is fine, until you realize the new tattoo mom has and dad's new TV. Keep your aspirations to yourself. Telling anyone in your household social strata about your plans to get out and do better may be met with bitterness and downright ridicule. People will call you uppity for wanting to go to school or stupid for having a career goal that isn't modest and local and vaguely dead end. People will tell you that you have no common sense simply because you refuse to see the world in terms of pure survival. Going to the doctor isn't an option until your fever is sustained at 104, a bone is broken, or the tooth rotted and won't fall out on its own. I am in my late 30s with full insurance and still have a hang up about going for medical care. Never tell your friends that you couldn't afford food or give them any clue about what it's like at home. My mother used to ask me if I told anyone how we live, and that's when I started questioning our situation. I once told some friends we had mushrooms growing in our house. I thought it was cool. My mom was angry and told me to never tell anyone again. I realized as I got older why she was angry. The floor of our house was rotting, thus the mushrooms, but she couldn't afford to get it fixed. She was worried CPS would take me away for unsafe living conditions. I grew up in a trailer. In 4th grade, a girl was having a birthday party and needed addresses for invitations. The next day she told me her parents uninvited me because I lived in the trailer. That was a new thing I learned I was supposed to be embarrassed about. I guess just expecting to have to deal with other people's crappy parents sometimes. I feel this in my gut. I grew up feeling ashamed and a lot of times not understanding why. Adults were way meaner than kids ever were. I work with kids because I want to make sure that all of them know they are worth it no matter what is going on at home. Stand up straight and speak with confidence. It was so easy for people to look down on the poor kids, so we made it just a bit harder for them. My dad grew up very poor. We were poor to lower middle class in my childhood, and we would get an earful for mumbling or slouching. It was like the cardinal sin. I got a Christmas present taken away one time because I didn't speak up enough when I told him how much I liked it. Nothing wasted. Mum had a dish called mixed up stew, which was basically a little mince beef, mashed potatoes and any leftovers from the fridge. Good menu planning. She never called it that, but one meal led to the next with last night leftovers included. Failing that, she always had a soup on the go using bones from chicken, dried bully and, yet again, leftovers. The thing is, they were all delicious, but that could be me just remembering her fondly. We weren't allowed to do any kind of extracurricular activities. So, no instruments, no joining any kind of sports or Girl Scouts or anything that required an upfront investment for uniforms or the season. Walmart shoes. My dad once said I wasn't really in need of glasses, that I just wanted to look like all my four-eyed friends. LOL. Spoiler alert. Totally needed them. Off-brand everything. This makes me sad for the extracurriculars. It's insane how much money you need for sports and instruments, even buying used. They're so good for kids and should be available to everyone. AC was only for company. I lived in Florida and didn't know I could use the air conditioner without having someone over until I moved out of my parents' home. In the same vein, I lived in a place with bitter winters. While the thermostat at school and other public spaces was turned up past 70 degrees Fahrenheit, my home was always around 60 degrees, sometimes dropping to the 50s. We'd offset the low temperature by sleeping with multiple blankets and wearing layers upon layers, sometimes even wearing snow pants around the house into bed. We were very poor growing up. You never ate the last of anything without asking first. Portions were small and limited. When I was 11 I was invited over to a then friend's house. I was floored by their house and furnishings. Very opulent compared to mine. Lunchtime came. Her mom had set the table for sandwiches. Everything laid out. 3 different breads, all sorts of meats, condiments and fruit. At my house lunch was a sandwich with white day-old bread with peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes we would have those Lando Frost thin sliced meats. We were only allowed 2 slices of the meat per sandwich. So, at this friend's house, I make my sandwich with 1 slice of ham because it was way thicker than the stuff at home. The mom kinda freaks out. What kind of sandwich is that? You need to put more on it. That's not enough, I explain, that's what we do at home. They were horrified. Ended up sending me home with a care package of food. My parents never let me go to her house again because they were embarrassed I told them we were poor. Yes, those thin slices of budded meats that had been chopped and formed and pressed and then sliced. Never could be sure what kind of meat it was, since ham, beef, chicken and turkey all tasted the same. 3 packs for $1. Leave the TV on when you leave the house. When someone calls, your parents are in the shower and you're able to take a message. You are perpetually young. Going to a movie, only during matinee showings and you are 12 years old until you're 16. You're at a restaurant, you're also 9 forever. Going to fast food, with any adult, you only order off of the dollar menu. Generous borrowing and burning culture. Everything you own is available to be borrowed by other poor people. My family had an extensive movie collection, especially when we could record movies from cable to VHS tapes, and our neighborhood friends were welcome to borrow what they needed. Games, movies, CDs. We swapped and borrowed a lot. Oftentimes, it was only long enough to burn a copy to have for oneself. My father was constantly driving these 2 things into my head since I was old enough to remember. 1. Hard work will set you free. 2. You will not get anyone pregnant. He never meant that hard work would make you rich. He meant that if you're willing to work hard, you can always work some crap job that puts food on the table, and you'll be so exhausted by day's end, you can rest. In my father's eyes, food on the table and a good night's rest was all a person really needed. The pregnancy thing was totally about shame. He grew up in the deep south with a Baptist preacher father. My father was around 6'7" in the early 1950s when his oldest brother, 15, got a girl, 18, in the church prego. The resulting shame and shunning from the community that ensued drove my father's mother to suicide. I'm sure to some degree, he blames his current life on the pregnancy that he had nothing to do with. In the UK, do not answer the door. Do not answer the phone. When the man is looking through the window, make sure you can't be seen. Do not tell anyone who knocks on the door where the parents work. This turned out to be doorstep lenders like Provident, no idea how they are still around these days. Don't talk to anyone about it. It's shameful. Me and my sibling weren't allowed to enjoy free breakfast programs for kids living in poverty that our schools hosted because it embarrassed my family. Granted, we grew up not just poor but abused, so that played into it. It was normal for money we got for Christmas, birthdays, and, from ages 14 and up, jobs to go to our parents for food and rent. Things did get better when we started working, but as the family was doomed to fail due to abuse when we inevitably left at 18 and our parents divorced, it left us with nothing. Working 4 years living at home, and none of us were able to save money or go to post-secondary until years later. If we were upset about contributing, we were deemed selfish and accused of not caring about family. My parents swore up and down they would pay us kids back for the money they borrowed. I'm still waiting on my $2,800 from 1318. If someone buys you food at a restaurant, order as cheaply as possible, even if they tell you order whatever you want. Used to get death glares from parents if I ordered something $10 or over at a place where average prices was $10. If you can get a burger and fries for $8, you better be eating a burger. I grew up solidly middle class. but I always do this if someone else pay for the meal. I just hate it when people spend too much money on me, it makes me feel guilty. It's funny now seeing my leftovers as a bonus snack and not part of the next day's meal. Had some weird lunches packed for me, like cream cheese and olives in a burrito wrap. The trio of any type of bread, cheese and olive is such a staple for me as a Turkish person. I was so confused for a sec, why would someone call this combo weird? I can eat those together any time of the day. I can't comprehend buying expensive clothes and even cheaper clothes I need to get on sale. Getting only one new school outfit a year as a kid makes me appreciate being able to buy clothes now, but paying a lot for one item still doesn't make sense. If it's good quality and lasts a long time, the price is worth it, especially if it's something like a jacket or boots. I was the scholarship grant kid at a wealthy private school, so I was never allowed to invite people home because we didn't have a mansion like everyone else did. Legit. When I went to sleepovers, they were in mansions. Homes I still haven't seen the likes of in my adult life among peers. Just old money type homes. I could make playdates for them all or the movies, or we could meet at the amusement park my mom got free tickets to. But don't invite them home. And if you're getting dropped off, any excuse for them not to come inside. At least they can imagine it's bigger or more opulent inside. LOL. I will never forget dating a guy in high school whose father owned a huge construction company. They lived in a gated community with all the elite in my small town. I lived in a trailer park out in the country. He used to get mad at me for not wanting him to come over for dinner or drop me off after a date. I couldn't stand him seeing our washing machine on the front porch because it leaked. I'm still poor. Do what you need to do before doing what you want to do. And then my mom would order takeout, go to the movies, buy junk, and then cry 3 days later because we don't have enough to pay a bill or bills like rent, water or electric. I never had proper pants because my legs are so long, and after 2 washes I was wearing high waters. She still does this too. Complains to me and my kids when we buy something with whatever little money, like toys or hair dye, yet she spent the money the insurance company gave her to replace the roof of the house with to go to a supernatural convention. So we get rained on in our house with as many leaks as there is, yet it is everybody else who needs to save to fix the roof, not her. People actually order takeout food like every night. I still think that's mad. Literally once or twice a year for us growing up. I grew up comfortably in middle class and I still think that's mad. You can save a lot of money by cooking at home. It's like eating in a restaurant every day. If your neighbors were in need, you helped them. Like, Mary's car broke down again, so my brother would go work on her car for free on his day off, and I'd get up extra early all week to drop Mary off at work and get her kids to school. Swing by in my lunch break to grab the kids after school, too. Basically, when folks are in need, you help them, and the same is done in return. That seems more like a rural thing. Grew up in rural poverty, and now live in one of the richest rural areas in the country. That is true in both places. Not being able to wash your clothes until you could do a full, and I mean full machine. Getting a stain on a fresh shirt mess and scrubbing it with soap over the sink. Yep, and you can usually wear them more than once before it's dirty. My husband's family wasn't rich, but they were comfortable. They went out to eat and always ordered appetizers and dessert. Meanwhile, we were lucky to go out to eat at all. To this day, I still hate ordering appetizers at a restaurant. It just goes against the grain for me. Growing up, I had lots of home-cooked meals. It wasn't until high school on a date that I realized that I didn't know how to pay a bill at a restaurant because I'd never been. Don't do anything bad or illegal, but if you do, don't get caught. Bail is expensive. Lawyers and court fees are expensive. Nobody touches the thermostat except dad. On point of death. Haha. Allowance? That's for rich kids with trust funds. You need to complete all your assigned chores first, and then if there's any extra work you can think of, you can earn some pocket money. Friends are over? Boy, do we have some chores for you. Friends are for stacking wood, not for playing. Your sister goes with you to your friend's house. Always. No whining. Always return anything you borrow in better condition. People will be eager to loan you things. Never do business with church members. It always ends badly. Don't loan money to friends. you'll lose both. Keep your hair brushed, your clothes clean, and be articulate and polite in all circumstances. We were not going to be trashed just because we were poor. Also, no wearing ripped jeans, even if it's the style. We're not spending money on new pants that look like old worn out pants. Yes, being poor was okay. Looking poor was the real crime. Personal appearance is important. Not really a societal expectation, but more of a familial one. I never once knew how closely my family towed the poverty line, thanks to how my parents ran things. My dad, though, he would volunteer me all the time to help friends, family, co-workers in need, if I was able to at all. Never let me ask for a single dollar from them, unless it was explicitly a job and for, say, a friend of a friend. I helped his co-worker move a handful of times. I cut my elderly neighbor's grass. I helped so-and-so connect their internet, or a friend of his to replace their carpet. I had no idea what my old man was fostering in both me and them. When I moved out on my own, his co-worker called, offered to help, showed up with antiques from his late mother as a housewarming gift for my wife and I. The man whose grass I cut, he passed away and left me his piano, since he knew I liked to play. The friend with the carpet hooked me up with a decent paying job right out of college. The internet illiterate ones, solid mechanics, and know my vehicle inside and out. He was teaching me something so much more than just an exchange of goods and services. These weren't IOUs coming due. The man knew the value of community and friendship, and just how far people would go for someone else if they just cared, even an ounce. It bleeds over in my day-to-day. Now, too, I may see someone at the grocery store struggling to find a product, so I take the time to help them out. It costs me only a few minutes, and I may never see them again. Or, I find out the person I helped is the very same one standing behind the counter at the DMV, and makes my time just a little bit shorter as a thanks. TLDR, my pops taught me the value of kindness. Not have enough blankets at bedtime in the winter. No central heating. Used to wake up with ice on the inside of the windows and on the windowsills. I was shocked to be in a hot house in winter when I went round friends. I remember having to run around the house with my sister to mop up all the rain that would come in through our crappy windows. Take care of your stuff and keep it nice because you're not getting more of it if you break it. I've got a Pokemon soundtrack CD from it. Was the Pokemon movie that had Entry into the Unknown in it. I don't remember what the name of the movie was though. I think it came out in like 2004. Yeah, so I'm 28 now. I've had that CD since I was a kid. At one point I gave it to my sister who's 24, so she was a decent amount younger than I was when I gave it to her, and then recently she found it and asked if I wanted it back and I said sure. The cover art and everything that was paper is pretty worn, but the CD itself is in pristine condition and it doesn't have scratches all over it and it works perfectly fine. And this CD is well over a decade old and was passed between two young children and had a lot of use out of it. I've got many other things from my childhood that was passed between me and my sister that is still in amazing condition because we were told if you break it you're not getting another one. My parents were great at hiding that we were poor. They made sure we always had Christmas presents and a birthday present. And we would order pizza at Christmas. All our clothing came from other relatives or charity shops. But when I started working full time and went to live on my own, just then I realized the truth that we poor. But still looking back, I have never had the feeling of being left out when it came to other children. And I still thank them for it. And now all the kids have moved out. They're the most generous and loving grandparents you could wish for a kid. But the biggest lesson I have learned is help others out. So every time I have something that I don't use or want, I give it away for free. Every time my daughter goes up a size in clothes, I give the old clothes to a charity that helps people with children who can't afford it. And it gives me a great feeling every single time I do it. Education is the only way out of the horrible situation. This was made very clear to me right from a young age. I remember everyone in my family checking in on my grades and plans for the future, almost on a monthly basis. Helped me extensively in the long run. My parents had the same deal with us. It's helped me tremendously over the years. Overall, independence at a young age, but also responsibility. You cook, clean, and pitch in before you are asked. If you're waiting for an adult to make dinner, you're going hungry. Also, poor doesn't mean dirty. You keep what you have nice, clean, and well cared for. Seriously, I wouldn't trade my upbringing for anything in the world. You really learn the value of things. By the time my sister was born 6 years after me, my parents were doing a bit better. I've never broken any phones, cameras, computers. She's broken every one she was given, and I was the messy, careless one. It's interesting for me, as an adult, trying to recreate some of the recipes from my childhood and realizing just how little they cost. The thing with the peas and kielbasa, $5 for frozen peas, $5 for the meat, onions from the garden and homemade stock. The delicious cacciatore, stir fries and soups all came from buying a cooked chicken from the supermarket on sale and then wringing every ounce of nutritional value out of the thing that we could. Also, no work on the house was ever done by a hired contractor or repairman. You either did it yourself, or you knew a guy. The guy you knew was either someone who would do it for cash, or more often, it was a relative or a friend of a relative who'd just rock up and tile your bathroom as a favor. You'd be expected to do these kinds of favors in turn, according to your skills. As the first of the millennial internet children, I was shunted around various relatives' houses in the early 2000s to set up their computers and teach them how to email. Every once in a while, you'd find a staggeringly good deal on something and just buy it in bulk. Suddenly you'd have to figure out how to eat 8 zucchinis before they went bad, or make gnocchi every meal for 2 weeks. This also ties into the know a guy situation, as if a friend or relative found one of those deals and wound up with a pallet of squid or something, they'd pass the luck around and just give you some of the excess, and of course, you'd be expected to do the same when you wound up with a basement full of salami. Oh, and you had a garden. You just did. My mom always said we may be poor but there is no excuse to be dirty. Our house was always clean and so was our hair and clothes. Growing up in the 1950s. Must be nice. We were dirt poor and therefore hoarders. Being poor probably helped me out long term but I still have flashbacks to the grime and smell of that house. Paper plate holders were a staple in our house. A real treat was getting donuts and chocolate milk in the morning. We knew the exact date of grocery shopping because that's when the food stamps came in. Most meals were experiments made from the food we got from the food pantry. We didn't get Next General. We got a few gens ago gaming systems. And no internet. Eating stale or close to sell by date food. No brand name anything. Adding water to shampoo to get it to last longer. Reuse everything. Make do or do without. Free samples count as a meal. To name a few. Never ever ask for anything at someone else's house, even family. You may accept if asked, but otherwise it's a weapon. This has made it extremely hard as an adult to interact in a world where you're pretty much expected to say something if you want something. Also made me extremely judgmental, and let's face it, a little jealous of folks who never have any issues asking for what they want. Spoiled brats, the lot of them. I wasn't dirt poor, but I grew up hanging out with my grandparents most of the time. Any number of fricked up situations at home. My grandparents were Italian immigrants that came to America during the Great Depression. So as an almost 40-year-old in 2021, I have the values of someone 3 generations past. Everything about actually surviving life I learned from my grandfather. The one thing I remember most is he would say nothing in life is free, boy. And I remember as a kid being like, what are you talking about, Papa? They are giving out free hot dogs right over there if you sign up for a bank account, or whatever it was. He would just smile and chuckle to himself, knowing that I would understand soon enough. He was right. While this was very true and definitely prevented me from getting in some bad situations, I'm also rather stunted when it comes to asking for help, and prefer to do things myself. Also, it's funny to see the trend of high-class restaurants cooking the same food my grandmother cooked because it was dirt cheap and charging an arm and a leg. Also, it's funny to see the trend of high-class restaurants cooking the same food my grandmother cooked because it was dirt cheap and charging an arm and a leg. It's RUSTIQUNCL2 Red SWNet. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.